Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sebouts, and welcome to Roots of Harmony, a text-based 4X game with a focus on colony building, war, and resource management using strictly ASCII graphics. The developer has drawn inspiration from another game I've actually covered on the channel in the past called War Sim. If you've been around for a bit, you've probably seen some of the videos or the series I've done on War Sim, and I really enjoyed playing that game, so when I saw Roots of Harmony and saw that the inspiration was War Sim, I knew I had to check it out, see what it was all about. Now, originally I was actually going to play this game on my own and was going to kind of jump into it blind, but once I booted it up, saw the atmosphere, saw how banging the soundtrack was, and saw that the game had a tutorial, I decided we'd just kind of go into it together and we could play it together, learn together, see what it's all about. So let's go ahead and press a key to get started, jump right into this. I did go ahead and preemptively turn the music down, but you can listen to it briefly in the background. It is awesome, actually. I really like the soundtrack a lot. That kind of stuck out to me when I first booted the game up. I thought that was pretty neat. But we'll go ahead and start a new game here, and I think this will get us right into the tutorial. Name of the colony. I didn't really put a lot of thought into this. So Sebastian it is. Trash name. For generations, we have fought and died over lands that were never truly ours. Turmoil led us to war. War led us to peace, and then peace inevitably led us back to turmoil. We lived through one chaotic cycle after another until our coffers ran dry. Unable to defend ourselves, we watched the enemy decimating us, but one morning, we finally decided to take our chance. We were only one small group of survivors, a few families struggling to stay alive, but we couldn't just sit there and wait for a certain death, so we fled to the harbor, boarded the first seaworthy vessel, and set sail towards the horizon, where there was still some hope. Nice. Oh, generating hope. Could use a little bit of that right now. Aboard the ship, you swiftly emerged as the group's natural leader, yet nobody knew who you truly were. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be setting up our sort of character here. So we could be a vicious tyrant, cruelty, stability, vanity, a voodoo worshiper, communication, faith, health, reckless trapper, cruelty, greed, skill, respectable baron, benevolence, inspiration, stability, a feared highwayman, greed, skill, vanity. So this is probably setting like attributes up for us essentially. Fancy priest, faith, greed, health, a gentleman drunkard, benevolence, inspiration, and knowledge. Interesting. Wow. I'm not really sure. These all seem kind of there's nothing that seems like middle of the road for me. They all seem fairly off to the side, besides the Baron, which I guess is in the middle, so that seems like that would be appropriate and middle of the road. I wonder if that's actually intentional. Vicious tyrant, gentleman drunkard. Is there like a scale here, kind of hidden a little bit? Maybe. Fancy priest, I don't know. But respectable baron's in the center, and it seems to be the most middle of the road. So I think we'll take that for now, just so we can, maybe we'll get ourselves kind of a level start here. After endless days battling stormy seas, the distant silhouette of an island emerged on the horizon. As you drew closer, hints of tribal presence scattered the shore. But you all decided to ignore the signs and declare this island your new home. You took a few valuable things from the boat, climbed up the hill, and began a new page of your story. Nice. So we're Christopher Columbus, essentially. So we'll begin. There is a short tutorial that gives you a hand for the first 4 turns. Would you like to follow it? Absolutely. Please hold my hand for the love of God. Tutorial number 1. This is the main menu. Selecting any sub-menu on this screen will open an explanatory pop-up. Please read, English is hard. Please read each of them carefully. To begin, open the Doctrines and Perks menu. I'm just kind of taking a look real quick before I do anything here. You can see benevolence, communication, cruelty, faith, greed, health, inspiration. I mean, I'm sure it's going to explain some of this to me, but I just like to kind of get a feel for things just before I start clicking around, just kind of seeing what I'm looking at. So Doctrines and Perks. This is the Doctrine menu. Your colony cannot survive without an ideology that brings cohesion to your people. Doctrines are unlocked by spending a resource that is different for each doctrine. Once unlocked, you can recruit new disciples through the recruitment menu. Doctrines have an important impact on events that occur at the end of each turn, but most importantly, it impacts your reputation with other tribes. Okay. So Oh my God. I apologize ahead of time. I'm sorry. I'm going to butcher oh God, I'm going to butcher so many of these words. I just am going to do it. You guys are going to have to put up with it. And I don't care what you say in the comment section. You're going to have to put up with it. Altruism, asceticism, collectivism, like some of these words I know. I reckon. Determinism, I recognize some of these words. Existentialism. It's funny, I can pronounce like some of these, and then some of these I just completely butcher. Hedonism. All right, tutorial number 2. When you start a new game, it's a good habit to select your first doctrine as soon as possible. That way you will know what resources you need to recruit your first disciples. For instance, if you select the mysticism doctrine, that's up here, right there, faith and zealot, you will unlock the zealot that requires faith and inspiration. Choose your first doctrine now. Okay. And you can see off to the side, so these are double stacked. So I'm guessing malevolence, night, cruelty, oppressor. So you've got almost like a, how would you put it? Essentially like a good and I don't want to say good and evil, but I guess they're opposites of each other in a way, right? Stability, cultist, and then vanity skirmisher. Maybe, is that why they're stacked? Possibly like that. Did it explain it and I just missed it? So I think we'll just maybe benevolence and night. I mean, we already picked something that helps us, I believe, with benevolence, possibly. But we could go ahead and kind of continue that. I mean, I like collectivism too. I also like productivism. Wealth and vanquisher. This doctrine costs 3 wealth to unlock. I have 5. Am I reading that right? Okay. You know, actually, I don't mind. I think we'll go productivism. You know how much I like societies that are producing things. I think that's always a cool aspect to a game, so we'll do that. Are you sure you want to choose the following doctrine? This will impact your reputation by a bonus / malus of 10 points, depending on whether a given tribe has chosen this doctrine or the opposite one. Sure, yeah, we'll go for it. Good choice. Now go back to the main menu. Okay. Back would be the key for that. I was kind of looking around like, where's main menu? Okay, tutorial number 4. As you can see at the top of your screen, you are currently lacking the resources to recruit the disciple that is associated with the doctrine you just chose. To fix that, you need to construct some buildings that will generate the resources that you need. Open the production menu. This is the production menu. From here, you can order new buildings to produce the resources that you see at the top of your screen. To produce a resource, a building needs an input that is transformed into an output after each turn. Each building is constructed on a plot, and each land that you can conquer has a random number of plots depending on its land type. Those plots are abstractly represented as a list. Some buildings have adjacency bonuses, so make sure you optimize their placement. Every building is unique. You cannot build them more than once. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. And adjacency bonuses. Nice. So you can queue as many buildings as you want, and each building takes 1 turn to be built. This production screen will be available to you at every turn, so feel free to experiment. Try to add at least 1 building to the construction queue now. Remember that each building is unique. You can never have 2 buildings of the same type. That's really interesting. I like that. So let's see what we've got here. Obviously nothing in the building queue when we've got a couple flat plots. So let's click and see what we've got. So a carpenter's house will generate 1 skill. Consumption per turn input is none. Production per turn output is a skill if adjacent to a lumberjack camp. Okay, so it seems like there's buildings here that there's buildings here that require buildings next to them to operate, such as the carpenter's house. So that's pretty simple to and I think that's kind of what these are telling me here. It's pretty simple to decipher, and it looks like right off the bat like lumberjack camp. We can hover over that. See, there's no consumption and there's no production per turn. So this is like one of the, I'll say, baseline buildings that you build. So, like, over at the side there, I see where it says Phase 1 Trader. But doesn't necessarily mean, like, that's the Phase 1 building, because, like, the carpenter's house, like we said, requires the lumberjack camp. Okay. But the gardener's cabinet provides an adjacent bonus for the herbalist shop. Produces the following tradable commodity vegetables. A production per turn output is inspiration 1, but doesn't require a prerequisite for that. Okay, but okay. I'm learning. See, I can learn. I can be taught things. I know that's not proper, but sometimes it's funny just to say it like that. So if this has a bracket around it, it seems like it needs something. Yep, I can see it. The brackets here kind of show that. Okay. Yep, bracket, no bracket. Okay, this is all making sense to me. So let's go ahead and take a look at, I guess, what I would consider the baseline items. So I said hearth earlier. Is it hearth technically? Lavatory? No. The painter's, oh boy, atelier. Boy, this game's really gonna put my English on display for all of you guys. Would you believe me if I told you that English is my native tongue? Okay, the well provides a bonus. Depleting will become an abandoned building in 20 turns. Interesting. Okay, so we don't really know exactly what that means yet. If we can replace abandoned buildings or not, I would say we could. It has no production, but it's used by other buildings through adjacency bonuses. I'm thinking about building the lumberjack camp first. It also gets depleted after 20 turns, so probably these buildings need to be rebuilt. It has no production, but it's used. We know it's used to build things, and also actually builds a tradable commodity, which I'm guessing is going to help with things like wealth or income, some type of money. So let's do the lumberjack camp. I like that. We're going to start with that. Okay, so very good. The production will start at the beginning of the next turn. You can add more buildings to the queue now. When you're done, go back to the main menu. Oh, and they're all going to be done in the next turn. So I could theoretically do a lumberjack camp. Okay, it's highlighted showing that I've already built it. And I could do a carpenter's house. And since it's adjacent to the lumberjack camp, oh, interesting. So actually adjacent. Okay, hold on a second. Now the adjacency bonus is kind of clicking in with me. Like it's adjacent right now. If I put the lumberjack camp center of this, I could put 2 carpenter houses on each side. Huh. Okay, that's kind of cool. We won't play around too much with that now. I'm getting the adjacency bonus, and I technically don't know if the adjacency bonus applies to both sides. We could test that out later. But you can see that it's actually not going to build. So if I filled all of these up, it would not do, it wouldn't build them all in one turn. It's going to be one turn and then a subsequent turn and stuff like that. So if I wanted to build something else here, I mean, we could see, it'd be kind of cool if there's a way to see, like I can hover over and see what the adjacency bonuses are, but it'd be kind of neat if I could sort this somehow. Can I? Let's see, resource filter. Okay, there is filters, and there is filters. Okay, so I can see what makes benevolence or creates benevolence. Okay, we can reset that. So let me look at this again real quick, knowing that. So this creates a tradable commodity, but what else does this create in conjunction with this? Furniture. And furniture creates skill. So if we go to the resource filter and click skill, okay, cool. We can see the carpenter's house, the palisade, and the workshop. Interestingly enough, the workshop does not require... It consumes skill and produces wealth. And this also produces consumes skill and produces stability. And will evolve into a stockade when you reach the next phase. That's cool. I want to build that for sure. Okay, what would be neat is a way to filter this. It'd be cool, a way to filter this to kind of see which buildings work with which buildings. That'd be kind of neat. Because, like, I kind of have to hover over them to see... But I guess if they're only like maybe 1 and 2, like I see this is the asterisk to the asterisk. It'd be cool if it was like then the asterisk for everything else, or maybe like an asterisk to a plus and then a plus for the things it linked with. I don't know. I'm just kind of shooting from the hip right now. And kind of pointing out things that I'm noticing. So let's see. So we're done. We go back to the main menu now. Let's see what else we got here. And maybe this will all become clear as we play along too. Who knows? Now that we have planned our production, we need to explore the island. So there's an exploration part of the game. Cool, cool, cool. So we'll click on the exploration menu. So this is the exploration menu. From here, you can see that the island is composed of 4 lines going in 4 directions. This actually reminds me very similar to War Sim. So in starting from the core land of your colony at Crossroads, which is here, each direction has a number of lands that can be that you can explore using your disciples. They're all composed of various points of interest, and most lands are controlled by local tribes. When your disciples need to go from one direction to another, it's important to understand that they can't move diagonally. Instead, they have to go through the crossroads, which is at the very center of the island. In other words, all movements from a direction to another must go through the center. Oh, interesting. So only east to west, or west to east, north to south, vice versa. So no going from south to west or north to east. Okay. So let's do some exploration. Select the first option to show a list of all of the lands in the north. As you can see, this land is currently unexplored, and you cannot see what's beyond an unexplored land. So right now, the list just shows this one option. Plus your main land, Crossroads, that is disabled during the tutorial. Send a scout to explore the unexplored land in the north. So, sorry, you cannot see what's beyond an unexplored land. So the north, you just can't see any further, basically. Like, I could send disciples to explore, something might pop up, and then I can do it again, I guess. Right, so right now the list just shows us one option, correct. Yeah, makes sense. And the mainland, which is the Crossroads, and is disabled during the tutorial. Okay, gotcha. I'm just making sure I really understand this. I actually think this is cool. I'm really enjoying this right now. Send a disciple to explore the north. So we actually do have different disciples here. They've got different skills. We've got a militia, but he's technically not a scout. He's probably for fighting and stuff, right? So we've got Tyrone and Edward. They're both scouts. They're both idling. They both have similar skills. So we'll just go ahead and send Edward out. So he's now moving to the unexplored land. Cool. Now send your other scout to the unexplored land of the west. Okay. Let's do that. Perfect. Easy peasy. So good. Both your scouts will move at the end of your turn. Now go back to the main menu. Man, there's a lot here. One thing you want to avoid is disciples that are idling. Every turn counts, so it would be a shame to not use them. Open the disciples menu. This is the disciple screen. From here, you have an overview of what your disciples are doing and if any of them are idling. Your disciples can explore, fight, train, and many other things that you will discover while wandering the island. Clicking on a disciple opens a menu where you can rename them or give them a direct order. You can also see their different statistics, which are mainly used in combat. You can see that both your scouts are moving. However, your militia is doing nothing. Select him now. All of your disciples can be moved either through the exploration menu or the disciples one. Order your militia to move to the west, where one of your scouts has already been sent. It's often a good idea to not explore too many directions at the same time, as distant lands are full of opportunities, and you might need more than one disciple to fully exploit them. All right. So Michael is now moving along with that disciple. Or they're all disciples, I should say, along with that scout. So all your disciples have been assigned to a task. You now go back to the main menu and end your first turn. All right, this is exciting. So we can end the first turn here. Back to the main menu and end this turn. The moon was so bright last night that some of our folks think this is a sign. They propose that this moon should be celebrated from now on. Oh, cool. I could get faith or greed. Let's go ahead and grab some faith, I guess. And there we go. So we've done our first turn, and we're on to turn 2. Tutorial number 16, or step number 16, the tutorial. But I think this is actually a good place to leave this video off. I'm going to do more of this because I'm absolutely having a blast with it. So keep an eye out for the next video because we'll go ahead and continue the tutorial and keep playing along and see how it goes. And then I've seen in the main menu that there actually is some difficulty, like some special challenges and stuff you could do. So I might explore some of that as well. If that is something you guys would be interested in seeing, let me know down below in the comment section and let me know what you think of the game. If you're interested in it yourself, you can actually check the game out on Steam, and there'll be a link in the description for that as well. The game is, I swear to God, it's $4 on Steam. I mean, that is a heck of a deal by even just the little bit I've played. I think that it is a very, very, very fair price for what I think is going to be a very fun game to play. I mean, you could probably literally dig in your car seat or behind your couch cushions and find $4 worth of loose change and buy yourself what looks to be probably dozens of hours of time in this game. So definitely give it a look, check it out, and support this developer. I think this is very cool. But with that being said, thank you all for joining me. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time.